7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Y'all, happy Friday. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, and just FYI, if you guys are gonna be watching Clash in Italy tomorrow, on Sunday, I should say, definitely go and check out NordVPN. That means you get 77% off and 3 extra months, and you can just use the code WWT because ain't nobody have time to be doing all these apps. We don't have money like that. I mean, you might, but I don't. So use NordVPN. Also, let us know what city, what state, or country you are hailing from. And don't forget to tell your friends, and your friends, and your cousins' friends, all of them to like and subscribe. We are so close to hitting our goal. So definitely do that. But I'm not trying to sell you all this stuff. It's about wrestling news. And I am not alone. The PR princess herself, Courtney Rice, is in the building.
Yes. Happy Friday. It's finally here after a very fun but productive week. Happy to be here on a Friday because there's a lot.
It was crazy.
It's just been nuts this week.
I actually stopped and I was like, wait, today's Friday or is it today's Monday?
It's Friday. Confused. It's just between doing the watch along for Double or Nothing. Obviously, of course, we didn't have a show on Monday. And then Wednesday I was at Dynamite. But I'm just happy to be here on a Friday.
Maybe that's why, because we didn't have a show on Monday. So I was just like, oh, today has to be earlier in the week. And like, no, it's all the way a Friday. But good news for Xia Brookside. She wins the Knockouts Champion Challenge. So tell us a little bit about that, because I think she's definitely on her way for TNA.
Yeah, so just a little bit from TNA last night. She participated in a Knockouts Champion Challenge, which they brought it back for quite some time. It was Lei Ying Lee teaming up with the Elegance brand, who are the reigning TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. They were taking on Mara Sharday, Elena Black, and Xia Brookside. Pretty much whoever pinned any of the champions would get a future opportunity. And Xia Brookside picked up the victory. Obviously, of course, there were shenanigans outside the ring, but it has been brewing up between Xia Brookside and Lei Ying Lee. After Xia Brookside betrayed her, there's going to be a lot of storm brewing, but we don't know when she's going to put her opportunity. I mean, I would think it would be at Slammiversary, since that's their next big pay-per-view. But the rivalry has been heating up a little bit, and I love this for Xia Brookside getting an opportunity and hopefully bring a lot of opportunity and spotlight to the Knockouts division. And I was happy this match was the main event last night on Impact.
Nice. Bosa, so shout out to Bosa and Eric in the chat. Did Xia need to pin Li Ying to get the shot? And I think that was the case. She had to pin her. So it was like either, be about the team or be about yourself. Sometimes it's about self if you want to get to the top.
Pretty much.
So definitely,
that's pretty much it.
So I am too excited about Xia. We got a chance to interview her, but it's kind of a catch-22 when somebody new comes into a promotion, WWE or otherwise. You're kind of like, oh, I like this person. I want them to, get to the top, or you have them do that slow burn, and now you can enjoy all the little nuggets that they get along the way. Now, don't get me wrong, I know she has been to the top. She's former tag team champions. However, it's like nice that you're seeing different iterations versus the old adage of sitting in the back eating catering.
Yeah, and I like that because her and Lei have been heating up for a little bit. Hopefully we can get a nice little blood feud within the Knockouts division because they are rebuilding a little bit. Obviously, of course, the Elegance brand is kind of feuding with Rosemary's team that has formerly known as the Bunny on AEW. Now she's back with Mara Sharday. But I think this is definitely something because I would like to see these two and also the TNA Knockouts Championship be at the forefront. Nothing against the TNA World title, but it would be nice to see the Knockouts kind of be at the forefront, especially for one of their biggest pay-per-views.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, for our producer from the future, and I guess technically it is going on in the future right now. but no spoilers. So for you guys who are watching it at your regular time, this is what's happening on SmackDown. So what's the preview?
Yeah, so pretty much this is like the final go home show before Clash in Italy on Sunday. As you know, they were in Italy earlier today, and there is no spoilers. There will be a Honey Night SmackDown happening at the top of the hour. So if you avoided the spoilers and don't want to watch it alone, you can watch it with Honey because she'll be taking care of the blue brand. Obviously, of course, what we have on SmackDown right before their big match at Clash in Italy between Gunther and Cody Rhodes. They're going to have some few last words before the big dance. Very curious what they're going to say when the Ring General meets the American Nightmare. And right before their big match for the WWE Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill will be staying face to face for the final time before their big match this weekend. Very curious on what's going to be said, and pretty sure we'll get an appearance from the baddies. Maybe Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, but we'll see what happens there when these ladies go at it. And also, we have Axiom taking on The Miz one-on-one tonight. But those are the three graphics that they previewed earlier, and all this and more is happening at the top of the hour tonight, 8 p.m. on USA Network. And is there something in particular that you're interested in for SmackDown?
Of course, I'm looking forward to anything with Jade in it. Also, FYI for you guys, we are going to be doing watch along for Clash in Italy, so definitely check that out. We'll put that up in our YouTube, etc. So just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, anything Jade, I'm always looking forward to. I don't want to say they're treating it like a PLE because it is PLE, but it's interesting how they've added these additional PLEs and how. I guess the question for you, do you think it has kind of watered down the stories because there's so many PLEs? We're trying to jump from one story to the PLE versus, like these are the major PLEs?
I think it's very hard because when you look at some of the PLEs we had back then, because obviously, of course, WrestleMania, you had the big four. Then you had in between pay-per-views where it gave you a little bit of a stretch. So it wasn't like you jump from in there, but it's just really interesting because when we saw the PLEs for May, it was going to be a little bit of a challenge. Granted, for Saturday night's main event, they did spread it out a little bit. They did give love to the Intercontinental title between Ethan Page and Penta. Possibly some shine with the tag team divisions, even though they got rid of some of their regular tag teams, but I guess. And also, it's very hard to do. And also, I understand with WWE with their partnership with ESPN, but I feel like because ESPN's been promoting this all week, they make it seem like this is a big pay-per-view, and sometimes you don't want to over promote it because it does seem like very stretched out of it. And obviously, of course, we did see Cody on there, Gunther. I'm pretty sure Danhausen was floating during ESPN shows since he's been floating around in the Knicks leading up to the finals, but we shall see on that. But also, it's going to be interesting, and I just hope it doesn't get too repetitive on stories because I think sometimes it's like they rely too much on their major players and tend to forget about some of the other storylines that some other stars are going. That's why after this, we have Night of Champions, and they're going to do King and Queen of the Ring. I'm happy some other stars that we have not seen in a while are getting an opportunity, but it's like, who are we going to face? And then obviously we know Roman's schedule is very light in June. Like there's some dates he's not going to be in. I don't think he'll be at Night of Champions, but who knows? A lot of them could be switched up, but I think it's going to be interesting to see. And it's kind of like out of the blue. They kind of like, here, we're going to throw a PLE in for 3 weeks. And it's kind of,
right,
as you said, at the end of the day, money and investment.
Yeah, Lynette, a lot of things like the King of the Ring tournaments around the corner as well. It's I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not for us. It's for, mainstream media and getting those. That's the reason they're on the ESPN, et cetera, et cetera. However, I don't know. It's varying because it's like, as you guys heard at the top of the show, we have the NordVPN. You can use the discount code WWT to be able to watch that instead of if you don't have ESPN, you can watch WWE via that. But there's just so many things going on that I don't know, to keep all your attention on WWE, the product, it feels like it's not happening. That's the reason they're producing more versus, you know, essentially kind of catering to the fans. And then the fans will tell their friends and their friends' friends and really sell it for you. I really think that word of mouth is still very important.
Mhm.
Like, there are people, if you guys follow my social media, I'm like at the gym almost every day. There are people, if you we talk about different shows all the time, and there have been shows where people have sold me on those shows, which I might not have watched. And so, if you're a fan of WWE, but you're not a fan of what's happening right now, you're not going to tell, you know, the person in the office or the person wherever, because it's not a good product. And then to tell the person, hey, you should watch this. Now this person has to go and jump through hoops to watch it. The barrier entry is a little bit harder. So I don't know. It's I mean, again, all guesstimating. Clearly, I'm not the millionaire, so
No.
you know, I guess whatever works for y'all. But another thing that is happening on Saturday, which is great, you know, we have WWE kind of almost back to normal, I guess. On Saturday is AEW Collision, so we're gonna have Persephone. She's gonna be on commentary before the upcoming Owen Hart Tournament quarterfinal fight. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so if you have not been paying attention, I know a lot of people have been paying attention to after Double or Nothing, which was a really good pay-per-view. I was very happy I got to do a watch along for it. So make sure to check that out. If you've been following, we just got the tournament for the Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament. Persephone will be facing off against HAZUKI. I hope I said it right. She is from Stardom, New Japan area. And this is the first time she will be in AEW television. She will be facing off against Maya World, who you've been following because she's been making waves in the AEW Ring of Honor space. Her and Haya have been teaming up together, but she's also been making names because she recently competed at Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor for survival of the finish for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So she has been under the thorn of Athena for a little bit. This is a really great opportunity. And also, this is something, and I don't like throwing shade at a lot of people, because when the bracket for the Women's Championship first came out, everybody was throwing a fit saying, how come there's no star power and everything else? And if you've been paying attention regarding AEW and their next pay-per-view, they have collaboration with Stardom, New Japan, and CMLL. And I think this is a good opportunity because even though you don't have your top ladies, because everybody else is doing like other things, which is great. And also it does give an opportunity for women like HAZUKI and also Persephone stepping into it, because she stepped into it before. It gives them an opportunity on who they are. And the one thing I will give AEW credit on is they do put on good vignettes for people who have wrestled in New Japan and star them on who they are and what they accomplished. Also against women who wrestled in the AEW space. So this is a really great opportunity. I may catch this match tomorrow since it's the debut. I'm very excited to see representation from CMLL and Stardom, and this is going to be very, very great. I'm very excited to look forward to this. And also, it's a new opportunity for a lot of stars to emerge in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And they're getting some of their top tier stars, because if you tend to forget, Persephone is the reigning CMLL Women's Champion. So I think that's something people tend to forget about that. But I'm very excited to see Persephone on commentary. She has been killing it the last couple months. I'm excited to see HAZUKI in her first official match on AEW television. I'm hoping she kills it, but it's going to be very interesting. And I'm definitely looking forward to the Owen Hart Cup tournament between both of these ladies.
Yeah, for sure. I think Lynette in the chat said she doesn't know who any of the ladies are. Maya World has been in the game for quite some time. So definitely, you know, you can just Google her name and you can see several of her matches. So she's a good one. And Persephone as well. I think just kind of the same thing when we were talking about WWE. With AEW, in order for you to get to know these names, they have to put the names in front of us. It's not like, oh, you know, they're great now to be on TV and then they throw them on TV, because that's the problem that we kind of get into. Okay, they're great. Then they throw it in front of us and they're like, we don't know these people. And then they take them back and then they put out Tony Storm and Mercedes. And then we get upset because we keep seeing the same people. We have to just kind of give everybody, it sounds like one of those infomercials, give everybody a chance. Give everybody a chance to, and part of it's not their fault. Sometimes it's, how the stories that they're given, but, give them a chance to, I almost equate it to put your self-imposed Roman Reigns chance on these wrestlers. And what I mean by that, there was a time where WWE kept throwing Roman Reigns at us no matter what. I didn't mind because he's hot. He is hot. But some people were like, why are we, people were booing him, etc. And they kept throwing him at us. And then you see where he is now. And I think that's the same thing that we have to give to every wrestler. Give them a chance to show us who they are, despite the story or not, because for a really great wrestler, they can have a terrible story and still make it work and still make you buy in. So, watch with an open heart.
Exactly. That's what it is. I mean, for me, I've learned about New Japan before AEW did the partnership, but I'm learning about Stardom and some of these girls, and also some of the people we love from WWE wrestled in Japan, and they talked about this, and that's some people don't understand too. I'm very excited because, as I mentioned, they do a good solid job promoting vignettes on wrestlers from overseas. And I love that they put in like archive footage on who they are and what they've done. And just really, especially if they're kind of on the rise, that's really something to watch. And I think it is a great opportunity for them to showcase in the Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament, because I know in like the first couple years they did like just AEW, but I like that they're expanding in the Ring of Honor space, New Japan, Stardom, CMLL, at least utilizing some of their partners. And as I mentioned, the next pay-per-view is Forbidden Door. So why not at least utilize it a bit? And that could further along to further stories. If they don't advance, they can make an appearance at Forbidden Door and they could have a match with somebody on the roster.
Yeah. Anything's possible. Give these women a chance, give these wrestlers a chance. I know there's a lot of promotions out there, but when they reach these things where they're on AEW, kind of like let them cook. I was going to do the segue, but it's a terrible segue, so we'll just go into it. Former WWE star Curtis Axel facing multiple charges after alleged DWI incident. So what happened there?
So there's a lot that happened yesterday, because this whole story broke out yesterday, where Curtis Axel is facing multiple charges after an alleged drunk driving incident at a Minnesota McDonald's drive-thru, per a criminal complaint filed in Oconee County. He is from Minnesota, and obviously, if you don't know who he is, he's the son of WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig and the grandson of wrestling legend Larry the Axe Hennig. He performed in WWE from 2007 to 2010 under the ring names Curtis Axel and Michael, and I hope I don't butcher this, McGillicuddy. And also, per the criminal complaint, the incident occurred on May 17th, 2026 at approximately 8:47 p.m., where officers from the St. Francis Police Department were dispatched to a property damage crash at the McDonald's on St. Francis Boulevard Northwest. Officers reportedly arrived to find a truck driven by Hennig slowly navigating the parking lot. According to the complaint, when an officer stopped the vehicle, they detected a strong odor of alcohol, with Hennig allegedly exhibiting bloodshot, watery eyes, and slurred speech. When instructed to step out of the vehicle, he refused. Officers opened the door and reached inside to turn off the engine and place the keys on the passenger seat. After continuing defense, officers reportedly physically removed Hennig from the truck, escorted him to the ground, and handcuffed him. And per the complaint, while seated in the squad car, an officer read Hennig the Minnesota breath test advisory. Hennig refused chemical testing and responded with profanities and a slur directed at officers. And pretty much a McDonald's employee reported that Hennig had been mumbling in the drive-thru before pulling forward, swearing at staff, and backing into another vehicle, according to the complaint. And he then allegedly opened his door and yelled at the female driver of the other vehicle. An inventory search of his vehicle prior to towing reportedly yielded a 750 ml open bottle of vodka on the front passenger side floorboard. And if you read the article, it kind of pretty much explains the following charges of DEI, disorderly conduct, and this story is developing as we speak.
Man, I'll tell you what. Yeah, the world is a hard place right now. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before, but I honestly believe, kind of, well, there's no jokes that happen, but I honestly believe when you get to that point, because I think everybody knows if you drink and drive, and you kind of after a certain age, you should know what your limit is as far as alcohol wise. But once you get to that point, there's something else going on in your life. So I really, um, it's developing story, but I hope he finds peace so he doesn't, put himself in that position again. Um,
Yes,
with that being
100%.
said, yeah, with that being said, Stephanie Vaquer, what is the status for Stephanie? Because Lynette was ahead of the game earlier in the chat. She said things are developing. So what's going on with Miss Stephanie?
So what's going on with Miss La Primera? Apparently, she's expected to have a WWE return, has been pushed back further. Per PW Insider did an update saying, as we noted last week in the Elite section, there were some in the company who expected Stephanie Vaquer back in the storyline mix by this weekend. We were told this morning that there were pitches for her for Monday's Raw, but as of today, she was not expected to travel to Italy. As we know, she has been written off WWE television on the April 27th edition of Raw in a backstage segment where Raquel, Roxanne, and Liv Morgan all attacked her and pretty much directed into the shoulder during the segment. And Michael Cole announced the same night on commentary that Stephanie Vaquer had suffered a second-degree AC sprain and would be out for a bit, and the injury is legit. Pretty much the ongoing delay in Vaquer's return has extended her absence over 5 weeks as of the original April 27th Raw write-off. WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful previously reported that no return date for Stephanie was widely known inside the company, and that internal ramblings pointed to a minimum 6-week absence. That may be a speculation leading to SummerSlam, but there's a lot of development happening. But PW Insider and Fightful are reporting on this, so hopefully we do get to see the return of Miss La Primera.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, just speaking of like talking about two stories before, like letting wrestlers cook, we let her cook. Where everybody wants to see what's going on, and this happens. But the good thing with WWE is that there's no seasons off, so something has to happen.
Yeah.
Now, something that also is happening in Los Angeles is Pound Town Wrestling, so you definitely need to check it out.
This is a no DQ match.
You know who you're talking to?
But as I'm looking around, I don't see anyone more beautiful than me.
Last Downtown was supposed to be my debut win.
What are you doing in my office, girl? The locker room is over there.
Ooh, Pound Town Wrestling, Pound Town.
Pound Town Wrestling.
I really wanted to really congratulate this entire crew, family, friends, loved ones, hard work. I commend all of you. Pound Town Wrestling. Here it is.
All right, there it is. If you're in Los Angeles, June 13th, definitely go and check it out. I was actually at the first show, and it was amazing. So I'm really, the other couple shows I've been out of town. As you guys know, I'll be traveling. So I'm really happy that I will be in town for this one. So definitely check it out. Now, something else that's happening, which I'm sure there has been talks about this. The Hart Family movie could be in the works based on Natalya's autobiography, which I have to see if there's an audiobook, because I don't have time to be sitting reading, unfortunately. But I have her book. But yeah, tell us more about this.
Yeah, so just a little bit. This is courtesy of Fightful. They reported that several Hollywood names have expressed strong interest in bringing the Hart family story to the big screen. Per the report, there have been discussions about the project, with sources indicating that a top-tier A-list production company is already looking to be involved. The framing positions the project as being in the early interest stage rather than in active production, but with significant Hollywood attention. Obviously, of course, Natty's autobiography that she released in late last year. The book obviously details her life as a member of the legendary Hart family, her journey to becoming into WWE, and experiences navigating the industry's challenge. Obviously, of course, Natty has expressed interest in a film adaptation of her story, and it'll explore her upbringing in the Hart family, including her dad and her famous uncles Bret and Owen Hart. The memoir addresses the impact of the Montreal Screwjob and Owen Hart's death, two of the most significant events in wrestling history that are closely connected to the Hart family. And obviously, of course, the book also discusses her father's addiction and CTE, her family's financial instability, and her husband, TJ Wilson's career-ending injury. Stu Hart's Calgary-based Stampede Wrestling and the famous Hart Dungeon Training Facility produced multiple generations of wrestlers. So this is an ongoing story, and hopefully that would be interesting to see. I would not mind seeing it, because if Natty said she wants a film, it'll be very curious on who would portray her on the big screen.
Yeah, that's one question, but also, how do you tell the whole Hart family story? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's a lot of people.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot of people. So how do you like go about portraying that? And who, typically they usually centered on one or two people. So who's going to be those one or two people? Like, you know, if it's Bret, you know, that's a possibility, but then his story stops at a certain point versus where Natty's story starts. So I don't know. Plus it can be done in one movie. Yeah, any thoughts? Y'all let me know in the chat. And I don't know, Courtney, if you have one. Any thoughts? Who would play Natalya?
Margot Robbie.
Oh, okay.
That's who I was thinking. Margot Robbie or Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
Those are like the two that popped in my head.
Okay. I feel like, see, they can, but now you get the wrestling, but I think you could just do a stunt double, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'm reading like Aaron's comment. Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the person who played Paige. Yeah, it all depends, because I honestly feel if you do it more on the Hart family, more of the Calgary into Bret, I don't see Natty playing a huge role, meaning that they only can show certain parts, unless they skip, they do a jump skip on everybody who's been impacted, but then it's not. Well, I don't know. I'm curious who's gonna write this movie and how this is gonna, because there's so many different stories you can take from this.
There's so many angles, and it's like, then you have to do that, and then who, like, I know Natty will be involved, but who do you have involved? Are you gonna have Bret involved? Are you gonna have Diana, his sister, involved? Are you gonna have some of his siblings involved? I mean, how is this going to even work? Because that'll be something, because I know they don't want it too Hollywood, but also at the same time just being respectful of the Hart family. And also, yeah, it's just very interesting how the family dynamics, like, you want to make sure it's portrayed properly.
Right. I don't think a movie is the play. Yeah. I think you're talking about maybe a 4-parter, maybe a 6-part doc.
Maybe like on Netflix, like Netflix, how they do with documentary.
Yeah, I don't think a movie is the right play, because I would want to see like Natalya, and I would want to see TJ. Like, I want to kind of the stories to get flushed out. And I don't know if you can do that in a movie. I definitely see more of a documentary type style. And I also think that you get more viewers that way if it was like a Netflix. And also, now I'm thinking about it, like Netflix and WWE are embedded with each other. So
I mean,
why not?
You might as well, because I feel like sometimes Netflix always has a hit when it comes to documentaries. But obviously, of course, sometimes they don't, because I actually just watched on Netflix America's Next Top Model. And even though Tyra was on it,
you
there was
just
watched
it?
No,
oh
actually,
my gosh.
Actually, no, let me rephrase it. I did watch it, but then looking back on it, there were some things they did leave out. Because even though it was her that did it, because I had a conversation with one of my friends about this, because we watched it, and it was just like, there are some things that are left out. And also there are some contestants that should have said more, because there was only a few from the past contestants. Like they should have had at least more that came out. So and also, of course, obviously we watched the McMahon documentary. And also Hulk Hogan's documentary got released. So
and that one got I mean, in Hulk Hogan's documentary, you forget his whole daughter and his second wife, like they didn't exist, which is we if you watch the interview with Brooke, you know, she kind of explains how they got to this point. But I kind of almost feel like there's a couple different things in play, right? At the end of the day, it's Hulk Hogan. Everybody kind of knows it's Hulk Hogan. So, you know, if you can't get the permission or don't want to, if he says, I don't want my daughter or my second wife to be involved, but he's giving permission from everything else, then it's like, all right, well, the money's going to get made. But on a journalistic and integrity standpoint, it's just like, I can't make this movie without your daughter. You have pictures of your daughter all throughout the thing. It's just like, and then how do you mention your second wife, but like there's like she's not even a blurb. It's like, so I feel like on integrity, but on integrity doesn't really make money. So that's the whole other thing too. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious how it's gonna play out.
That was another thing I had to talk about, because if she wants to talk about Owen, I know Brett is his brother, but is she gonna include Martha and the kids in this? That's another thing too, because you know, Owen, he left a legacy. He left an impact in wrestling, but of course there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that has been getting a little bit ugly that we don't know. So that's also something too, because I know Martha and the children have Owen's name. They're trying to keep his legacy alive and all that stuff, but also the archive footage of his matches and all he's done. So that's also another layer to think about.
Yeah, and you know, then if WWE's evolved, that's a whole another can of worms that, you know,
that part right there.
That's we will if you know, you know. But something that you should know about is Women's Wrestling Archive.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling. Because if we don't document it, a man might say he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today. All right, let's get into it. We have a couple of predictions to go over. So Noche de los Grandes. So let's get in it. And I think, it's gonna be a tough one. We might have a watch show, but it might be a little bit later because I'm already on another watch show for something else, which is here we are. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, this is for the AAA tag team titles. This is Pagano and Psycho Clown taking on the War Raiders in tag team action. Decisions.
I'm gonna do War Raiders.
I think Pagano and Psycho Clown are going to retain their belts.
Okay.
And it's funny, we were talking about the War Raiders and tag teams last week, and here they are. It could be that AAA.
Right. And so does that, I don't know, man. This tag team thing is such a dilemma.
It's hard. It is hard. And then we have the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship match. Laredo Kid taking on, surprise, surprise, Ray Phoenix, who we haven't seen in a while in SmackDown television. He's wrestling in AAA.
Bosa. You get spicy sometimes, Bosa. Bosa says this reeks of NXT in Mexico, where you can't fit where we can't fit you on Raw or SmackDown or NXT, you go here. I mean, not really wrong, but
not particularly, really, because it does expand horizons.
Right. I'm gonna go with what Aaron said. Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, it's time to give Ray Phoenix some opportunity. It's time for him to get a little bit of shine in there. And then we have, because I have the full matches on this link, we have the AAA Latin American Championship match. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. taking on El Hijo del Vanquinco.
See, this is what I'm saying, where there's like, I don't want to say there's too much wrestling because I want everybody to have a job, but it's like it's hard to keep up with everything. So obviously, just guessing blindly because we did do a watch along for AAA, I think a couple weeks ago, and like they do have good storylines. It's just how to keep up with everything. I'd say I'm gonna go Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Wagner Jr. to retain the belt. And then, of course, the most anticipated match everybody's been waiting for: Mask versus Mask, the original El Grande versus El Grande Americano. I guess this would be the main event. This is the marquee matchup.
Ooh. Oh man, I wish Will was on here. See, the problem is, okay, so let's talk this through. If El Grande Americano wins, what do you think happens next for him?
The original one or the one with
so they have El Grande Americano, and then they have versus original El Grande Americano. So yeah, let's talk. Well, let's say the second one, the second El Grande Americano. What happens next for him if he were to win?
Well, it's gonna be very interesting because there's a lot of backstage stuff happening behind the scenes, but for some odd reason, he's beloved everywhere. Obviously, of course, we did find in reports that Gunther was actually the one that paid for his bail. True story, that happened. But he's more beloved. I mean, it's kind of interesting because if you watch some of the AAA events, the one with Ludwig, he's getting cheered for, and for obviously Chad's character, he's getting booed. But that's very interesting. I mean, if that happens, I wouldn't mind seeing Chad Gable back on TV. And if that happens, put him in the Intercontinental title route against Penta, if that were to happen.
Yeah, but even when Chad was on TV, they weren't really like,
they
weren't really utilizing him as a. Obviously, not everybody could be at the top, but they weren't really utilizing him as a mainstay mid card.
Yeah.
So,
that's the sucky part about it.
Yeah, because then it's like mask versus mask. So the loser gets, the other one takes their mask, I'm assuming. And then like what happens? So so you're saying if the original El Grande Americano wins, if he loses, then he can go back being whoever he is. We'll pretend like we don't know. And they can put him back on the main roster. But what if he wins? So what happened to El Grande Americano the second?
Oh boy, there's a lot of backstage heat with that. Well, it's just very messy at this point outside the ring. I mean, we talked about this last week. Apparently, there's a lot more story coming out in the coming days. And I don't know how AAA is going to get out of this one, because this is very messy. And also, this is something that is a serious allegation that should be taken very seriously, step by step. But I mean, a good opportunity for him to get some time off on TV, figure out what mess that needs to be taken care of, because some of these allegations are very, very serious. And also, we don't want it coming into friction. But I would not be surprised, because we know that Undertaker is handling bookings for AAA. So I would not be shocked if they did an interesting booking, as we've seen in the past with WWE shows, that unfortunately that kind of articulate real life stories that are happening in real time.
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one. See, the other thing that we have to take in consideration, just kind of piggybacking off of what you said, WWE is a publicly shared company. So stocks and all those things matter. So if this thing with El Grande Americano II is affecting the bottom line, then I think if they had him winning, then he's going to lose. But then the other thing is, like, I think either way, like, he was good. It's Chad that I'm kind of more wondering, like, okay, what will happen if he doesn't? But either way, taking away the outside story, I am going to go with El Grande Americano II.
I'm going to take original El Grande Americano for the win.
There it is.
Good.
So that's happening tomorrow at 7. We may have a watch along. I'm going to talk to the weekend crew and see if they'll be able to do that. But another thing that's happening on Sunday is Clash in Italy. Let's go through this. What's happening?
Yeah, so you kind of know the deal. Clash in Italy, internationally on Netflix, ESPN here on the States. By the way, it's going to be first hour during ESPN. But if you don't want to watch the ESPN app and you want to save money, you can watch it on the NordVPN. And that'll save you tons of money. And you don't have to worry about back and forth and watching the free hour and worried about the next payment. So,
yeah.
But
so how it works, guys, if you guys are wondering.
Clash in Italy during yes.
Yeah. If you're wondering how it works, is you'll go and get the NordVPN. Like I said, it's 77% off. And then you will put where you are located anywhere outside of America. So I usually put like Canada. I usually put Canada or the UK. And the thing is, WWE is shown, all WWE, SmackDown, the pay-per-views, Raw, of course, is all shown on Netflix internationally. So you just set your location to outside the US, and then voila, you can watch the pay-per-view on your Netflix account. So it's a huge, saver. So definitely check that out. Definitely go and get your NordVPN now, finagle with it a little bit, and then put that code WWT to get that discount. All right. Aaron's saying, I got my boy Jacob. This was a tough one.
It's very tough. And
because technically, technically, we're not even gonna go. I'm not even gonna mention saying The Rock's name is almost like saying Candyman. I just don't even. That's the other thing too. Like, let's play this out. So if Roman retains, then what happens to Jacob? Because we were just talking about developing new stars, even though he's part of the bloodline. Like, I almost feel like Jacob should retain because Roman doesn't have as many dates, and therefore Jake can carry the title, etc., etc. What's your thoughts?
Now you're gonna make me sing the Candyman song. Who can take the sun? Now you're gonna make me sing the Candyman. The Candyman. No, I'm just kidding. This is very tough because I really want Jacob to win because I know they have been building up as a top main event guy. The fans love him. The fans go nuts during his entrance. He's beloved everywhere. I'm sure he'll be beloved in Italy on Sunday. But also, because this is where I put my PR brain and strategic in, because I'm thinking timeline, investment, and promotions, because I have to pick Roman to retain only because, yes, it's a possibility he may not do Night of Champions, but also I'm thinking of the next PLE is SummerSlam, and they want to put butts in seats. He is a top draw. I know that's something that WWE and TKO rely on. And of course, we did talk about this, not catering to us fans, but the casual and mainstream fans. But it's going to come at a point where sometimes you kind of not need to rely on him anymore and just let the guys shine. And even with this King and Queen of the Ring tournament, we get to see some stars we haven't seen in weeks. And it's a good opportunity for them. But also, it's like, I'm thinking of this in my mind. Who do I think is going to pay the bill for SummerSlam? Like, who is going to be the biggest draw in Minneapolis?
Very, very true. Shout out to, I won't play I always forget what song I had. It kind of, was it this one? I don't think that was it either. Was it that one? No, that wasn't it either.
It was like the glass shatter.
Yeah, I don't know where everybody put it. I don't think that's it either. But shout out to Tantalizing Tony, who is in Italy, and he had the time to acknowledge.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. And let me take it off a repeat. He had the time to acknowledge WWT, and then he said, "I'm on my way to Turnin. Jacob will acknowledge Roman." Ooh, bold statement.
That is a bold.
I don't know,
right
man.
There.
I feel like it's one of those things where, like you were saying, we can't rely on Roman. Yes, SummerSlam's coming up, but then if Jacob becomes champion, then he has enough time to build. Like, it's not like he can't do it. He's great on the mic.
No, he can do it.
So it's like he has enough time to build up to SummerSlam. Where are we? We're about to hit June, July. So you have 2 months to build up to SummerSlam to be the champion that we all expect him to be, opposed to have Roman carry it and then have dates that he can't come to and do all the things that, you know, the Roman Reigns contract involves, which is sometimes, you know, not showing up. That's what the way his contract showed up is. So why not put it on somebody else and let him cook? Because I feel like with Roman, if you look at it kind of like an office way in wrestling, Roman Reigns is the top of the food chain. So technically there's more people who he's had matches against. People are like, I'm not even gonna bother having matches with him because he's always gonna be the champion. But with Jacob, I think people could look at him and say, I can do it. He just got here. He just got in the club. So they might try him, and that's where the storylines kind of progress. So I mean, although I am a fan of Roman, and y'all know I'm a fan of Roman, I think for the greater good, this is where Jacob signs. Or you have him and Jacob, and then him and Jacob run it back in SummerSlam, which I don't think we need that. I think we need Jacob to usher in the fresh blood, fresh storylines, and kind of go from there.
And that's why you have King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, because the winner of that match faces whoever's the champ at SummerSlam.
There it is. Who else we got?
So we got the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch taking on Sol Ruca. After what happened last week at Saturday Night's main event, Sol Ruca will finally get an opportunity for the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Based off of what happened last week, I think this is Sol. This is Sol's turn.
Sol Ruca. I would like for Sol Ruca to win, but I just feel like Becky's going to retain for some odd reason. I feel like there's something because I really want Sol Ruka to win, and I know she just came into the roster, but seeing Becky kind of crash out a little bit, it's kind of been fun to watch the last couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sure she's going to have something up her sleeve. And then obviously, of course, another elephant in the room, because if Jessica Carr is the referee, that's also another segue right there. Yep.
Right, but then what happens to Sol if she loses?
That's a tough one. This is a tough call. Because I really want her to win the belt, but I just think for some odd reason, Becky will find a way to retain. And that's going to be the sucky part. Thing.
We know Becky is the man. And New Karen is done as champion. We know Becky's the man. We know Becky can carry her belt. We know Becky can talk on the mic, all the good things. While Becky is still around, right? This would be the time, like this is almost like the tester. All right, put the strap on Sol and see what she can do with it. See if she makes people because what it all is, what this whole wrestling thing is about, and any television thing is about creating emotions. What emotion can you create from me, whether you hate Becky or you love Becky or any that's there's still an emotion. If you're lukewarm, nobody cares. That was the problem with Roman in the very beginning. Nobody cared either way. Now they care if he stays champion or not. They took us through a whole roller coaster of emotions with the bloodline. With this now, this is almost like the testing ground for Sol. Give her the strap and see what you can do with it. Can you show us emotions and have us invest in you in that sort of way? Because if she loses, then what?
Kind of similar.
You put her in center stage on having a match with Becky. Becky's a star, period. Anybody that you put with Becky, you're going to take notice. So it's just kind of like, let's see how she cooks if she's a champion.
It's kind of the similar situation we talked about with Jacob a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like if he loses, like where does he go from here?
Yeah. And then, we kind of go back down the and I'm not trying to push people who've been in the game for a long period of time, but we definitely need to usher in more talent, which we are doing from the NXT space. Like, I think if you were to go back to one of our shows, maybe 6 months or a year ago, we were saying, okay, well, WWE is not ushering in the talent. They're not ushering in the talent. They're using the same people. Now you have Sol Ruka here, NXT talent. You have Jacob Fatu. So it's kind of one of those things there, like, let's see what they can do. And if it doesn't work, that's not saying that if they don't make it work the first time, that's it. Like, I think wrestling fans are forgiving people. Actually, no, I'm going to take that back. At the end of the day, you have to give people more than one chance. You look at everybody else, and it's like, why not? So with that being said, I'm going to say so.
Yeah, that part right there. And then we have this.
Oh boy.
Obafemi Brock Lesnar round 2.
I feel like Brock has to take it, right?
I would, but
or shenanigans? Like he's gonna beat him twice?
Because SummerSlam. Yeah, because SummerSlam's in Minneapolis.
So so what do you think he's gonna? So what do you think? Brock's gonna take it, then they're gonna run it back for round 3?
I just have that feeling because if they're gonna put a lot more stock with Oba because they're already getting over the fans, it's like,
right?
Why'd you bring Brock back in the first place? Like, why'd you bring him back if Oba was gonna win twice? And then what are you gonna do with him on SummerSlam?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I kind of exactly what you're saying. Like, I want Oba to win, but I agree if they're doing it's not even like Brock is on like full-time kind of roster thing. Brock is Brock. Brock is not even in a Roman lane. Brock is in a Brock lane, a whole lane onto himself.
Pretty much, yeah. It's
so yeah, if you're bringing him back, yeah, I agree. I think he's gonna take it. I find it very hard for him to take 2 L's in a row because again, there's like the legacy.
Yeah,
it's like the tarnishing of the legacy. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm only picking Brock only because at least make it 1-1 and just have him allegedly have his final match at SummerSlam. At least give him that match in his hometown. Like, just give it
And
to
look,
him.
I wouldn't mind seeing Brock and Oba go for a third one. So, I mean, bring it. Like, their last match was great. So, I wouldn't mind seeing them go for a third one, as long as that third one results in, I guess, the official passing on the torch from Brock to Oba.
I guess that could be the official one at SummerSlam.
Which, I mean, WrestleMania was so much better, but whatever. But yeah, for this one, I agree. I have Brock for this one too.
Yeah, I'm picking Brock in this match too. And then we have another women's match. Rhea Ripley taking on Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship.
Ooh, man, Jade looks good. Well, actually, both ladies look amazing in these pictures. Man, see, here's the thing. Now, if I had a whiteboard to myself, technically, according to my choosings, I already have 2 people dropping, and so there can't be a third. It just so, but then what happens to Jade?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And also with the fact too, she did pick up a big win at Saturday Night's Main Event last week.
Right.
And also,
however,
here's
the thing. Because they can run this back in SummerSlam too. Because let's also be honest, this is like a PLE, but it's not a PLE. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of one of those things. It's not on the level of Saturday Night Main Event, but it's not on the level of SummerSlam. So I feel like in this one, Rhea retains, and then they run this back in Mania, or they run Jade somewhere else. They redirect Jade somewhere else.
Because I know they've been teasing her versus Charlotte for a while. Because we have seen her and Charlotte have a stare down.
Yeah, and all the alleged stuff that's happening backstage, all the allegations. So yeah, I have Rhea for this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Rhea to retain this. I do think there is a lot of element, and they're trying to push Jade as a top heel because there's not that many strong heels on SmackDown. I mean, outside of Lash and Nia, Jade's probably their strongest heel they're going to push. And they want to be a bigger threat to not just Rhea, but also Charlotte. But we shall see. And we have Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the WWE Undisputed Championship.
I have Cody for this one.
I can't see Cody getting the belt off anytime soon.
Yeah.
I have him retaining. And I feel like they may, depending, I don't know if they're going to run it back at SummerSlam, but I would not be shocked if Gunther put in for King of the Ring and wants his title back in a desperate manner.
Yeah, that could be a good one. I think you have Gunther and would you have Jade? Who would you have for the Queen of the Ring?
For Queen of the Ring, Jade going back to back.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that.
I don't know if you want to go back to back with Jade. I mean,
I saw this post. Online. It was it was on TikTok. Damn, I wish I took the girl's name. She said, Naomi, I know you went away to have this baby, but it's time. It's time for you to come back. I mean, man, she would have to put in a lot of work to come back for SummerSlam.
Yeah, she got to put a lot of work. You can't rush these types of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. But we have more than enough NXT, especially in the women's division.
Yes,
more than enough NXT women's talent to push them. Like, I mean,
them and
Miss
also
Parker. Oh my gosh!
And then also, don't forget about the ladies in Evolve too, because Evolve is cooking. They are cooking a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, I'm not really worried. I know we had an in-depth discussion about the mid card, but I'm as far as mid card is more the story of it. It's not like they don't have the man or the woman power. It's the producers and the agents and everybody, creating the stories to put these people in. It's not like we don't have enough amazing women who can do the job. So, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna see how that's. Yeah, I'm curious because if Jade does lose, where are they gonna redirect her next?
Mm-hmm. But that's it for Clash in Italy. That's all the matches, and get ready for Sunday, 2 p.m. on the East Coast, 11 a.m. on the West Coast.
Crazy. Yes. So definitely for Clash in Italy, we will be having watch along and post show. So definitely keep it locked to WWT. What match are you looking forward to see the most?
Oh, that's really tough because there is something. I mean, obviously the ladies, Rhea versus Jade. I feel like they'll probably have a better. I mean, their WrestleMania match was great, but I feel like they'll probably crank it up a little bit. I'm very curious on that. Cody versus Gunther. I'm actually excited. I know a lot of people are kind of flustered with the promos the last couple of weeks. I'm very happy to see Gunther versus Cody. Obviously, of course, I want to see Jacob. As much as I picked Roman, I want to see Jacob go all out in Italy. I want to see how the crowd reacts to Jacob and how they're gonna go for it. That's all I want to see. But
actually, I really love this whole card. This whole card is actually really, really good.
It is. It's a very solid card. And also, since Becky Lynch has been Women's Intercontinental Champion, anytime she's defended the belt, it's been almost every PLE. Almost every PLE. Okay. Which is wild.
All right. I definitely I'm curious about the heavyweight championship, Roman versus Jacob. I mean, I'm excited about it all. I think my least favorite, and doesn't mean that I'm not excited about it, but if they were going to order, Cody and Gunther would be like my last, compared to all the other ones.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's the face of the company, so.
Yeah, he's the person. He's there. He's putting out the work. He's QB1, but also this is the first PLE in Italy. So of course there's going to be a lot of high expectations going into this. Very curious how the atmosphere is going to feel in Italy and everyone's reaction to every single match.
Oh, it's gonna be good. And like I said, there will be watch along and post show for this on WWT. Also check out in about 40 minutes, Honey will be doing Honey Night SmackDown. So definitely check that out on WWT as well. I feel like there's something else happening as well. We finally, if you guys are like, where is the Wild Post show? That is coming back this weekend too. So a lot of things happening. So keep it locked to WWT, the YouTube channel, and also on your podcast. So like and subscribe, all the good stuff. On iTunes or on Apple Music, definitely if you're listening to us on there. Like, subscribe, comment. We need more comments, y'all. Like, I know y'all are watching. Shout out to the 500 plus people who have subscribed to our channel in the last 2 weeks. We really, really love you, really appreciate you. But put some of those comments in there. We appreciate it. Even the bad ones, because some of y'all, but even the bad ones, put your comments, tell us how you feel, all those stuff. Tell us what you want to see more, because there's a lot of wrestling, and we are growing and building and continuing on. With that being said, Miss Rice, where can everybody find you?
They can always find me chirping sporadically on WWT Live as much as I can. Wednesdays, it is Timeless Elite Wednesdays with me for AEW Dynamite. We're definitely back doing watch alongs next week because we are on the road to AEW Forbidden Door happening in San Jose, California. Obviously, of course, we got continued action in the Owen Hart Cup men and women's tournament because things are starting to heat up. In the men's side, we do have Will Ospreay taking on Mark Davis. And we'll also have Swerve Strickland taking on Brody King. Not sure when that's going to happen, but lots of stuff happening. You can follow me on my socials on @CourtneyNJ11 because I do have a ton of stuff. I just posted about my latest adventure in Philadelphia for AEW Dynamite. It was a very good crowd, 3 hours. Shout out to the entire AEW team for having us cover it because it was a really great show. And overall, just focus on the road to Forbidden Door. Also, we're definitely going to get more interviews from AB's WrestleCon. I know Honey posted her interview up with Francine, but I'll be posting mine because I'm finalizing it with Dave LaGreca and Bronwyn Billington, the daughter of the Dynamite Kid. I'm very excited to post these interviews up before the end of this weekend because it was really great interviews to chat with the both of them. Also, doing some content as well because I have two things. Obviously, I'm supposed to be handling detective stuff with Tony Storm, but taking a little pause on that because the TBS title, as we know, Willow is injured. And I have a few thoughts on who I think should be TBS champion and who could take the charge as being the next face of TBS television.
There it is. So many things going on. Also, on the side note, if you are a fan of Nemesis, there is a new network that I'm partnering with. We will be doing a watch along. We'll be doing a post show. So if you're a fan of AfterBuzz, there'll be a lot of familiar faces that are going to be popping up on this network. It's called Control TV. So you'll be seeing some stuff with that. So yeah, that's going to be happening this weekend. Like I said, we have our watch along and post show for Clash in Italy. All the things. You can follow me everywhere at TK Trinidad. If you want to just see non-wrestling related stuff, you can check out TK on TikTok. I'd be talking some crazy stories because life be weird, y'all. So you can follow me everywhere at TK Trinidad. Make sure you follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms at www.talkpod.com. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Ciao for now.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.